Hey guys, I'm in the kitchen again today making some corn chowder. We had a couple of rotisserie chickens from Costco over the weekend and I didn't want those bones and that bit of meat stuck on the bones to go to waste, so I made some chicken stock in my Instant Pot so that I could make soup this week. I'm gonna be making corn chowder, so I've got some of my chicken stock here for this soup recipe and then I'm gonna be making another soup later, but today I'm making corn chowder. I've got half a pound of bacon ready to go here. It's all cut up, chopped up. So I'm gonna turn on my pot and get this cooking and then I'm gonna get chopping with my onions. I used to think that I would never, ever cut onions on video because I'm one of those people that just starts weeping when I cut onions. But I got these tearless onions from Costco. I thought, yeah, right, that's not gonna work. They're still gonna make me cry. They really don't. I can cut multiple onions without having my eyes tear up. So I think I'm gonna have to just pay more money for onions from now on because it makes my life in the kitchen so much easier. You don't think that it's a big deal, but it's one of those things that once you know that you don't have to be crying your eyes out when you're cutting onions, it's really helpful. So I'm just gonna chop up these 2 onions here while my bacon starts to cook. I just need to prove a point here. I cut 2 big onions and I don't have a tear. Okay, so 2 big onions, maybe 3 smaller ones going in here. And then I have roughly 6 cloves of garlic that I'm just gonna use my garlic press to mince up here. Okay, so since my bacon still needs to fry a bit, it's not time for me to put my onions in. I'm just gonna slide my onions and garlic over to the side here, and then I'm gonna peel my potatoes. I have 1.5 pounds of potatoes here. I'm just gonna chop them up into like a centimeter cube size. My bacon is starting to sizzle, getting some nice browning in here. It smells incredible in here. So pretty soon I'm gonna get the onions and the garlic thrown in. I just want a little bit more browning on this bacon first. The bacon's looking awesome, so I'm gonna get my onions in here now. After this cooks a little bit, I'm gonna be adding my broth and some milk. So I'm gonna measure my milk now. I've already got my broth measured out. I need 2 cups of milk. This is just the last of the previous jug that we had in the fridge. And I went and got groceries yesterday, so there wasn't enough room in the fridge for all of the milk jugs. So there, that old one is finished off. I have this Pyrex 4-cup liquid measuring cup, and the measurements have almost completely worn off of the side, so it makes it really difficult to measure stuff, but I'm too cheap to go buy another one because we're moving soon. So I'll just make this one last until we move. You can see all this brown stuff on the bottom of the pot. So much good flavor coming up off of there from the bacon and the onions. They're getting nice and soft, so it's almost ready for me to add my liquid. But before I do, I'm supposed to add some flour. That's gonna help thicken up our soup later on. So I'm gonna put the flour in here, cook it off, and then I will add my liquid. I've got 6 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. So I'm just gonna sprinkle that in, give it a stir, and just get that raw flour taste cooked out of there. Okay, so now comes my broth, and this is 6 cups, I think, of chicken broth. And then the 2 cups of milk. Okay, I've got my liquid in the pot and I'm gonna add my potatoes, some spices. I'm gonna put half a teaspoon of dried thyme, 4 bay leaves, and then I'm gonna add my corn, which is just waiting for me in the microwave right now. So let's get the potatoes in first. One, two, three, four. The reason I chose to make this soup is because I had a lot of corn in the freezer. I had a friend so generously give me a bunch of corn from her garden at the end of last year. And so I had chicken broth, I had corn. It seemed like a perfect reason to make corn chowder. I've never actually made this recipe before, so I'm hoping that it'll be a hit. It seems like everything that my family would like, so we'll see how it goes. I've got 4 pounds of corn here. It's basically been processed with, it's been cooked and has a bunch of butter in it, so it's kind of like cream corn. And so I'm putting 3 pounds of it in now. And then I'm gonna let it cook, and then I'll add the last bag of corn at the end when I add the whipping cream. Oh, that's a leaky one. Okay. I'm just gonna set that there. So I'll give this a stir, and I'm gonna turn up the heat and get it simmering because I want it to simmer for about 15 minutes, I guess. And then I'll add the last of the ingredients. So this should be ready in time for my kids to eat it for lunch. And while that cooks, I'm gonna get cleaning up here. I love it when I can make meals that allow me cleanup time while things are cooking so that when I'm done eating, I don't have a huge mountain of dishes to clean up. So soup is awesome for that because while it's cooking, you can get your kitchen cleaned up. And when you're finished eating, you can just put your feet up. Who am I kidding? I almost never put my feet up. I'm always doing something, but I do appreciate not having to clean up when I'm done. Let's see how our soup's coming here. Okay, it's just coming up to a simmer. It's not quite boiling yet. This looks really good though. Oh, I forgot. I have a bowl of chicken in the fridge that I took off of the chicken carcasses after I had cooked the broth. So I'm just gonna get that out and chop it up, and then I'm gonna throw it in the soup too. That definitely sounded like a bone. Okay, yep. I guess it's a good thing I'm chopping it up because if I hadn't chopped it and I just threw it into the pot, I would have missed that little bone in there. I can hear that it's simmering now, so I'm going to put the chicken in, give it a stir, and then I'm gonna set a timer, I think, for probably another 10 minutes. I don't know how long it's been since I said I was going to give it 15 minutes, but I feel like it should get up to a simmer before I start really timing things. So 10 minutes from now feels right. The more you cook, the more you just learn what feels right. You know what to do without thinking about it. And I really appreciate that about following recipes so that I know how to do the methods and figure things out. But I'm turning into one of those grandmas that just says, make a dough that makes a nice dough. And you go, how much flour constitutes a nice dough? And you can't really specify because you'll just know it when you know it. And there's good things about getting older, you guys. Okay, 10 minutes. I'm gonna set that timer. Turn it down a little bit because I don't want it being at a rolling boil. I just want it kind of simmering. And I'm gonna leave the lid on and I will go wash the rest of my dishes. Okay, 10 minutes of cook time means I had enough time to go make a coffee. So, yay me, coffee time. Okay, I'm gonna set that to the side, check on my soup here. A word to the wise, turn your temperature down like low before you walk away for that 10 minutes of cook because there's a lot of starch in corn and this pot of soup will boil over, unlike something that's not as starchy. So I have a little bit of a mess to clean up, but it looks like it's coming along really nicely. Now my only concern is having enough room in this pot once I put the remaining ingredients in here. So I'm just going to, okay. It says to do salt and pepper to taste, which is always a difficult thing to navigate. I'm gonna check the saltiness of this now. Okay. I don't wanna be too heavy-handed, but salt really does make things taste better. I think that was about a teaspoon. Now I'm gonna grind some pepper in here. I'm gonna add my last bag of corn. And then I'm supposed to add 2 cups of whipping cream. I really should have got my big stock pot out for this. I didn't think it would be necessary, but apparently I was wrong. Okay. And I have this whipping cream in the fridge that is a couple days past the best before date, which is another reason why I wanted to make this soup today. Just to get this cream used up before it goes bad on me. Okay. Wish me luck here. Oh yeah, that's no problem. It's honestly not as thick as I was expecting it to be, but maybe that's okay. It still looks really good. And make sure that you remove your bay leaves before you serve this. I had an uncle who almost died because he got a bay leaf stuck in his throat. Apparently the one, like the back side of it is kind of like Velcro, and once it kind of sticks to you, it doesn't want to let go. So please remove your bay leaves from your soup so that your kids don't end up trying to eat it. Although most kids wouldn't want to eat a big green leaf that's in their soup, but still. I know there's one more hiding in here somewhere. Well, I'll find it eventually. I'm gonna get a bowl and a ladle and give this a taste. I guess I have a spoon over here. So the reason that you want to add that corn, that last portion of corn right at the end, is just so that you have a bit more of a crispy bite to some of your corn in the soup. I sure hope the potatoes are done. Yeah, potatoes are done. That's really good. Nice and creamy, obviously, with all that whipping cream in there. Sweet corn, nice deep chicken flavor because I used the homemade chicken stock. And it really helps to have that boost of protein from a little bit of chicken in here as well. This is a home run. So make this. I'll try to post the recipe in the description below. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.